With the new Onslaught activity just around the corner, and with 7 inches of shacks being the reward for the top 3 placements to complete all 50 waves of the legend version of Onslaught, you best believe people are getting the most top tier builds ready for this activity coming with the Into the Light update. So to better help your odds in this race, or if you're just trying to go for a quick, easy clear just to get that new sweet loot, I will be going over the best builds for each class to absolutely destroy the new Onslaught activity. These builds are prioritizing mass add clear over boss damage. You will always have your heavy weapon slot for those guys anyways. So let's get into it. Starting off with the hunters, we got a few S tier options. But first up, we will be going over the Void Hunter with the exotic chest piece, Gerfalcons. The Gerfalcons build has always been a devastating build for your standard add clearing. I ran this sucker on the day 1 Crota's End raid race, and it carried the fuck out of the first and second encounter. Pairing this build with Graviton Lance or La Monarch makes for the most efficient room clearing you will ever see. But let's not sleep on the new and improved Manticore though. Where it lacks in area of effect damage, it makes up with infinite overshields and solid single target damage, ramping itself to a solid 100% damage buff while in air. Letting Gerfalcons take over the AoE will be just fine. The subclass aspects that are only of necessity would be Stylist Executioner. For every volatile kill, it will turn you invisible, thus creating the endless loop of volatile rounds. For the only fragment that I deem necessary to have will be Echo of Starvation. Picking up an Orb of Power will grant you Devour, and while that is active, every kill will grant you a massive amount of health and just a little bit of grenade energy. The perfect build for neutral game. For our next Hunter build, it will be on Strand. I do feel that Strand Hunter has been left behind as far as meta builds go, but Whirling Maelstrom was made for Onslaught. Tight bottlenecking hallways adds group to plenty. Oh, I'm just ready to see how the Rasen Shurikens will dominate this activity. Whirling Maelstrom has the ability to apply Unravel onto all of the enemies. And with the artifact mod still being in season, Horde Shuttle will make this even more of a killer build. Everyone's becoming a Threadling printer. The exotic to pair with this will be Aeons, believe it or not. Only reason there's no other exotic to help out this build. Strand needs a little bit of help in that department, unfortunately. So better go for the neutral game route. So like stuff that's relative to your dodge or whatever. Or just spawn heavy for your team. That's really it. The necessary aspects would be, of course, Whirling Maelstrom. And since there are no necessary fragments, I'll just show you mine. List it all out here for you. For weapons, I'm truly stuck between a few for different reasons, but since this video is supposed to be brief, Tuska the Boar and Sunshot for mass add clear, Scatter Signal for solid single target damage, but also paired with a Sunshot, or Quicksilver Storm, just for that strand synergy, paired with a really good fusion rifle. We have so many. But do let me know what you would pair with a Strand Hunter if you went that route. Last but not least on our Hunters list will be the Arc subclass, and you can go one of 2 routes with this one's exotic armor. Either all out damage with Liar's Handshake, or Please Don't Shoot Me Assassin's Cowl. Or whichever route you choose, the build still remains the same, which will be a 1-2 punch shotgun with combination blow and lethal current. Slap double hands-on mods on your helmet and you will be jolting, one-shotting, and spamming super more than you will ever want. The only reason that this wouldn't be my first pick though is for the reason that there seems to be a lot of explodey shanks in this activity, just based on what we saw in the Into the Light dev stream. So proceed with caution on this one. Now that we have wrapped up our Hunter list, we will move on to our Warlocks. First up will be a build that you're probably tired of seeing. We are talking, of course, Sunbracer spam. It's as busted as it gets, having the ability to clear both rooms and bosses at the same time, and when paired with Heat Rises for that infinite melee ability spam just to keep re-proccing Sunbracers, and with Phoenix Dive you have access to a ×2 infinite restoration build. You're unkillable with mass area of effect along with DPS that can melt bosses on top of all of that. Why not go for this build? Am I right? Sunshot to pair with this is just the cherry on top. You don't even need it. But we're Destiny players. Of course we're gonna overdo it. But as far as the aspects and fragments that you would want, you want both Touch of Flame and Heat Rises on, as well as these fragments. Pause the video and copy it here if you want. Moving on for our next build, this one was given to me by a friend that you actually may all know. His name is Unknown Traveler. This build is for our Arc flavored Warlocks, and it's all about super spam for everyone. I mean, this band is out here bragging about orb spawns, but this build can go one of 2 ways. Either super spam with Geomags, or ability spam with Falling Sunstar. Both have completely different gameplay loops. One build is just throwing way more grenades and spamming way more Arc Souls, while the other one is just supering everything. Because for those that aren't caught up yet, Geomag's got a rework where Ionic Traces grant the user super energy. Now, The goal is to jolt as many enemies as possible, so you can gain as many ionic traces as possible. So for any weapon with Volt Shot, this is just a bonus for you. The needed aspects are Electrostatic Mind to spawn those ionic traces, and Arc Soul, because, well, if you like 3 guns on the field, have you tried 6? The needed fragments will be Spark of Shock for that grenade jolt, and Spark of Ions for killing a jolted target will spawn an ionic trace. Now, ability spam away. This build does require mods though. Mods of the grenade variety, like Bomber, Firepower, and Innervasion, so triple up on those of course. For the last build for our Warlocks, it will be a build that might just break the entire activity. Yes, believe it or not, I would consider this build better than the Sunbracer's build, but only because of how this activity looked based on the stream. This build will be on our Strand subclass, and will be utilizing Necrotic Grips paired with Thorn or Osteostriga, and having the aspect Mindspun Invocation. Yes, it's the build that's way too busted for an activity like this. Take damage across the board as well as suspending everything automatically. If you were the Hive, I'd be fearing for when this build steps on the field. For the needed aspect, it will be Mindspun Invocation and pairing it with the Shackle Nades. Make sure you eat the Shackle Nades for the Weaver's Trance. This will give the suspend effect. And for the needed fragments, it will be just the Thread of Generation and Thread of Mind. Gotta get those abilities back as soon as possible, of course. Now for our Titans. Since I know absolutely nothing about you guys, for I do not play you guys, I had to consult a Titan expert, to where he said, Banner of War with Synthoceps and a 1-2 punch shotgun, along with Tractor Cannon. And I guess you just call it a day after that. Of course, the whole build is here for you to copy, but I did proceed to ask him, is there any other build? Solar, Arc, Void maybe? To where he said no. So I guess that's it for you guys, huh? Done deal. Gotta love our Titans. Now I hate to say it because we only had one build for Titans, but when it comes down to it, there really is just no better build than that one. I'll just have to call it right there. But this leaves room for the community to grow. For all of my Titans, down in the comment section below, list your S tier builds that aren't just Strand Banner of War Titan. Trust me, I want to hear them more than anyone else. But that is going to do it for this video. I will be streaming my race over on Twitch and here on YouTube, so if you could drop a subscribe here or a follow over there, that would be much appreciated. I would love to see you guys over in the comment section. And I do have a Discord. Join that Discord so we can all communicate with each other. I freshly opened up a builds channel so you could just show me your builds in there as well. But yes, won't take too much of your time anymore. All right, take care. Bye.